And today we want to talk about TikTok trends and the the negative impact we feel like it's having on the country. Or you know what? Maybe it's not a negative impact. I'm a firm believer in natural selection. Some of these people, some folks are not intelligent enough to be allowed to continue living. So maybe we should be thankful for these trends and the fact that they're helping us to weed out some of these folks, who might be a danger if they were allowed to keep
But
going.
most of these folk aren't dying though, so
Uh,
they just getting hurt. And
but you know what? Pain is a great teacher. So that pain might convince them. You know what? Let me not do this
I
again.
wish it was enough.
So I know, I know Hudson has a nice list of some of the trends we've seen over time, but I just want to talk about the one that has come up recently that I'm got to be honest. I think it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not an old man, but I'm 37 years old. So I've been around the block. I've seen quite a few things in my time. But this, apparently, a new trend has started where people are cooking chicken in NyQuil. And I
Oh,
mean, literally taking raw chicken, putting it in a skillet, pouring NyQuil, turning it on, letting the steam rise and smelling it. And then not only do they put this on a plate to eat, but check this out. They are pouring the NyQuil back into the bottle, which is insane. Now, mind you, there's plenty of people doing this trend who are intelligent enough not to eat the chicken. But unfortunately, you have a lot of, especially young people, or let's be honest, especially old, senile people who do not realize that that's not something that you should do, to the point that the FDA came out with a warning. Y'all, come on now. The FDA decided that there was a risk to public health and decided it needed to directly say, hey, y'all, cooking chicken and NyQuil, not healthy for you. This can result in sickness or it could be flat out fatal. There's a bunch of these little videos, but when you watch it, to just see raw chicken being drowned in NyQuil and then fried essentially, it is absolutely disgusting. I have no idea who thought of this. I have no idea why it would become a trend. Why would somebody else would see this and say, "Hey, this is something I should definitely do as well." It's just absolutely repugnant. Hudson, your thoughts?
well, first off, there's not even any flour or egg wash involved, or no, so they just throwing the chicken in there, and so I all jokes aside, this is perhaps the well, at least, and it's not often I'm on TikTok,
Hmm.
so I'm sure there's much more crazier on there that probably maybe hasn't caught on or something. But this thing's like I don't even know who would think of it. And any person who fries chicken, you don't throw away the grease right away. So I guess I understand why they pour the Nyquil back in.
Oh, come on now, bro. No, I don't get it.
you
Why
know,
are you
but
putting salmonella into your NyQuil bottle?
man,
Stop it.
I'm hoping that they're not using that Nyquil for
Come on
any
now.
purposes other than to pour it back into that pan and cook the chicken. But it's like I guess what I don't understand about these TikTok challenges, like you say, a lot of people are cooking the chicken and not eating it. Then I don't understand the challenge, right? What
Mhm.
you know, and sadly, I could understand it more if they were actually eating it and going, it's like that's the biggest challenge. Now supposedly there's a possible danger with even smelling these fumes
Right.
from
That's why
from
the
cooking it.
FDA came out the warning because they're like, even if you don't eat it, it's still a danger to you just having those fumes come up, dummy.
Right. But it's not like these same dummies who are doing it didn't know that in the first place anyway.
Come on now.
So they didn't know the fumes would be a problem anyway. So I would think that they would eat it. Now, this would make a little more sense to me. But to just cook it and show it put it
On
on
a
a
plate.
plate and then just show it.
This
Like,
bluish green color on this raw chicken, because they ain't even cooking the chicken all the way through. They ain't even cooking it right. So it still looks like raw chicken with just a bluish green tint.
so
Disgusting.
it's like, what's the challenge then? I mean, we've all, when we were kids, been dared to eat things, and I've never taken that dare to eat something. Never have. I can't do it. You can't dare me to eat dirt, bugs, none of that. I was not that kid. Like, nah. I only put food in here, perfectly cooked food. If it's supposed to be raw, that's fine. But no, you're not gonna catch me. So I don't understand that period. But if you're gonna do a challenge, I just don't get what supposedly this challenge is if you're not going to show yourself taking a bite of it.
Right.
It doesn't. So in that respect, it really makes this whole thing not make sense to me.
It's not like when they were stacking up crates. Like, you could at least understand that they were running up the crates and then they were running down the crates. So at least you saw, okay, there's a challenge and this challenge has been completed.
Right. That is a challenge of agility. It's a challenge of, stamina, whatever the case, which clearly I don't think I've seen a video yet where anyone succeeded in that crate challenge. And I'm actually surprised that I don't see a lot of broken necks or anything of that nature from it, because I couldn't imagine falling on one of those crates. But, anyway, I see, at least I see, like you say, the purpose in that. I see what the challenge is.
Test of agility.
But this challenge is just to cook chicken in NyQuil. That's the challenge. And it's a challenge that anyone can complete if that is the challenge. Yes, I could go get NyQuil and cook chicken in it. Yes,
Well,
I can complete that easily. So why is this considered a challenge?
well, it's not. So there are TikTok challenges, and then there are TikTok trends where everybody's kind of doing the same thing, and it's really, there's no way to fail at it. Now, some of these trends I've actually been big fans of. Like, they had the silhouette trend, where you had a bunch of thick sisters getting in these little silhouettes, putting their TikToks up. That was fantastic. They had some other challenge where sisters would they be in like regular kind of bummy clothes, like sweatpants or whatever, and then they crouch down, and all of a sudden everything's jazzed up. They got their makeup on and all that. I forgot the name of that trend, but that was fantastic as well. But yeah, these challenges on TikTok, most of the time they're getting people to do really, really stupid, oftentimes dangerous things, really, really dangerous things. And of course, a lot of times it's kids doing them. So it's just really, really scary to watch. And it makes me afraid for what it's going to be like when my daughter comes of age and she gets more exposed to social media. What kind of nonsense am I going to have to open up my phone and see her doing that's just going to make my heart stop?
Well, even in these trends that you mentioned, not everyone looks good in a silhouette, right? So that's a trend where you have to complete something, and the sort of trend is to, hey, I got a good looking silhouette here. Like, I could have did that. You would have seen this dad belly right here all out. And I'm sure a lot of people would have enjoyed it. At least that's something. That's, the trend with the jazzing up. Not everyone looks good jazzed up, because they don't know how to jazz up. So even in those trends, you're accomplishing something that still not everyone can, at least while they can do it, they can't do it well. And there's some sort of purpose to it in those trends. But this, even as a trend, still makes no sense. Still makes
It's hard
no
to watch.
sense.
It's hard to watch. And unfortunately, TikTok is revealing a lot about our culture and about our country in general in ways that I think is terrifying to a lot of people.
Well, when I think of what the internet could have been,
Mhm.
and when I think of what social media could have been, and not that I think the creators of MySpace and Black Planet were necessarily thinking of this stuff, but
Mhm.
I think of challenges such as solve the equation for time travel, and all these great minds just work on and do a little bit more of the formula and pass it on. I'm thinking of
Mhm.
great things like this,
Mhm.
and we got people trying to eat corn with a drill and busting their teeth. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I miss TikTok when it was, and I never really got into TikTok, but I
Mhm.
miss when it was just the dance challenges.
Right.
I miss it when it was just that.
Mhm.
You do a little
Mhm.
dumbass dance and everyone tries to do it, and there you go. I miss that. Bring that back and let the rest of this go.